lesson, we were using a percent proportion, and it had a is over of is equal to percent over 100. We're going to use that percent proportion again today, but today instead of looking for the part, we're going to look for the whole or the total. So today we're going to be solving problems that are missing the total fraction or the part of the total. So again, we're going to use that same percent proportion. And our first question asks us, what 50% of what is 48? So our first question is going to ask us the question, 50% of what number is 48? So again, we're going to use the same steps that we used yesterday. We're going to box up this problem so that we can fight it, okay? So let's go ahead and box it up. So we're going to box 50% in pink again because that's our percent. So we're going to put 50% on the top of our proportion. So remember, we have two proportions here out of 100. Okay, of what number? We don't know of what number. So we're going to put an X because it doesn't have an actual number there. So we're going to go ahead and just put that number or that letter X as a placeholder. And is 48. Is 48. So in the is spot today, we're going to put 48. So is goes to 48, so I'm going to put that in the is spot. Of, we don't know, so we're going to use an X, 50%. Now we're ready to solve. So we're going to solve these problems. I want to use, maybe this blue is a little bit darker. Okay, again, we're going to make a fish. However, this time we're not going to start on the bottom because the bottom is X, right? So instead, we're going to start on the top, and what's across is the 100. So we're going to do 48 times 100. So 48 times 100, and we're going to divide by 50. We come around the corner, and we're going to divide by 50. All right, so go ahead and pull out that handy dandy calculator of yours, and we're going to go ahead and solve this problem. So 48 times 100 is 4,800. There's our 4,800. And divide that by 50. So we're going to just divide this whole number by 50. And that gives us a total of 96. So X equals 96. So the total price, original price, is 96. Or the total on the bottom of our fraction is 96. Okay, let's do another problem. So again, we're looking for the whole, the missing whole. And they're going to give us a problem that looks like this. We're using the same process. We're just solving for the bottom. So it says 120% of what number is 72. All right, so our job is to set up our proportion. So again, we're going to set up that proportion. This side is equal to this side. How do I get from one number to the other? Percent, let's box it up. 120%. Ooh, notice that's bigger than 100. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Of Of is stuck to what number? We don't know what of is, so we're going to use an X. And is 72. Is 72. So 72 is just part of the missing number. So we got to solve it. All right, look for what's across. What's across, and then we're going to multiply. So again, the things that are across are 72 and 100. So we're going to multiply those two this time. 72 times 100 because they're across from each other. And then we're going to divide by the last number, which is 120, to get X. Divided by 120, and that's going to give us X. So go ahead and solve that with our handy dandy calculator. 72 times 100 is 7,200. Divide that by 120, and that's going to give me X equals 60. So the missing total is 60. Now, this number is smaller this time, and that's because we went over 100%. So we went over 100%. That's why that one's smaller. Okay, last problem before we do some try-its. So example letter C. And example letter C is asking you, let me find it, 60%. All right, so this one is saying 60% of what is 42. All right, so our job is to box up the problem so that we can solve it. Let's get rid of this calculator here. All right, so first of all, 60%. I'm going to put the 60 over 100. We don't know what the of is this time around, so the of is X is 42. Okay, I'm looking to see what's across in my proportion. I could figure out by doing this 60 divided by 42 and 100 divided by whatever that number is, and that would give me X. Or I'm just going to go fishing here. 42 times 100. And I'm going to divide by 60 because it's the last number. And that is going to give me 4,200 divided by 60. And 4,200 divided by 60 gives me 70. We could have figured that one out, right? 70, so X equals 70. My missing number is 70. 42 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. And we just have those two zeros there. We're just working in zeros in hundreds again. Okay, go ahead and finish writing out this problem. I'm going to turn the page, so hit play when you're ready. And we're going to do some try-its. So we're going to get going on our try-its here. All right, 2 try-its for you today. 2 of them, if I can find them. There we are. Okay, so try-it number 1. Try-it number 1. It says 15% of what number is 9? Let's try it number 1 and try it number 2. Try it number 2 says 5% of what number is 10? All right, go ahead and hit pause right now so that you can solve these without my help, and then come back and check your level of understanding. Where are you at? All right, so first of all, percent is pink percent, and I have 15%. Set up my proportion of what number? We don't know. We have no clue. Big ideas. Why are you asking us? Make us do all this work. And is 9. All right, so we're going to solve. Again, we're going to multiply the two things that are across from each other. So 9 and 100 are across from each other. So 9 times 100 gives me 900. I'm ready to go fishing. Divide by 15 so I can get x. Divide by 15 so I can get x. 900 divided by 15. And that gives me 60. So x equals 60. X equals 60. Okay, next problem. How'd you do on that one? How'd you do? Okay, this one, we're going to, again, box it up. Of what number? We don't know. So we're solving for x. X is on the bottom. 5% is 10. So 10 over x is equal to 5% over 100. Again, we're going to solve by figuring out how do I get from either 10 to 5 and then doing the same thing. We can solve that way. Or you can multiply 10 times 100. That is 1,000. Divided by leftover 5. The leftover 5. All right, so we get 1,000. Oh, my calculator's not there. 1,000 divided by 5 equals 200. So x equals 200. Okay, this is a really good one to show you as an example of doing going across, right? So we could do, how do we get from 10 to 5? So 10 divided by 2 equals 5, right? Or 5 times 2 equals 10. So if I do 100 times 2, that gives me 200. 200, 200. This is the same thing that you've been doing. It's not any different. So if you don't like going fishing because you're not much of a seafood kind of person, then you are welcome to use this method of figuring out how do I get from here to here and then working backwards. It's the same thing. It is the same thing. Okay, go ahead and answer your essential question. How do you find the missing the missing whole? How do we find the missing whole number? And then when you're finished, go ahead and rate your level of understanding out to the side. Where are you at with your learning? And then when you're finished, you can come on back to the Google Meet and ask for help, or you can go and do your practice work on big ideas. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.